In the zone, it's all about survival of the fittest. Some who enter the zone are looking for wealth, power, or freedom. Some survive, very few thrive, and many, many more die. Either by the anomalies, the mutants within, or an army of brainwashed soldiers armed with F-2000s and some of the best marksmanship ever seen on a battlefield. However, others come to the zone for more than just those reasons. Some people come to the zone to study and try to understand it. The two biggest factions we've seen with the main purpose of studying the zone are the Ecologists and Clear Sky. The Ecologists are a lot more boring, but they are a group of scientists funded by the Ukrainian government to study the zone, anomalies, and artifacts. And the Ecologists tend to be passive unless provoked. Clear Sky, though, in my opinion, is way more interesting. In 2006, Clear Sky was formed by Lebedev, Suslov, and Klancha, a group of scientists who broke off from the original Project X group. For this video, I'm going to assume you have a basic understanding of the lore in Stalker. Many of the things I talk about in this video, such as Strelok, the Seed Consciousness, or Project X, I want to dedicate videos on, but for today, I just want to dedicate this video to my favorite faction in Stalker, because I just think they're so fucking cool. I'm going to explain who Clear Sky is, what their mission was, and ultimately the tragic downfall we saw in Stalker Clear Sky. However, before I answer those questions, I want to quickly talk about the history of Clear Sky because I think it's rather interesting. So like I've already stated, Clear Sky was formed shortly after the 2006 second Chernobyl disaster, after Project X botched an experiment causing a fracture in the noosphere. Lebedev, Suslov, and Klancha did not agree with the others on what they needed to do on in the aftermath of the experiment, so they broke off from the original group and formed Clear Sky. At some point between 2006 and 2011, Clear Sky was able to set up shop in an isolated part of the Great Swamps. In 2011, a mercenary named Skyz was caught outside in a mission whilst leading a squad of ecologists. For most, this would be a death sentence. However, Skyz somehow survived. Skyz was founded by a Clear Sky member and brought back to HQ for treatment. Shortly after Skyz finally wakes up, Lebedev gives him an ultimatum: work with Clear Sky or be executed. Skyz of course agrees to help. Lebedev then gives Skyz the mission to track down and eliminate the stalker by the name of Strelok. Now that we have a good sense of Clear Sky's origins and how they came to be, let's dive into what truly sets them apart from the other factions in the zone. Despite the chaos of the second Chernobyl disaster and the tragic events that followed, Clear Sky didn't just seek survival, they had a vision, a purpose that was far greater than just finding artifacts or fighting for control. Their mission was ultimately rooted in understanding the zone, but most importantly, finding a balance between it and humanity. What I love is the way GSC goes about doing factions. Unlike in Fallout, where every NPC has full belief in their faction's main goal, every Brotherhood soldier wants to preserve technology, every Legion soldier wants to cause death, destruction, and probably rape. The factions in Stalker, though, take a lot more of a realistic approach. Sure, you're gonna find the radical members floating around like you're at a political rally, but every member has a different reason for why they joined. In the Freedom faction alone, you can find members who want to liberate the zone, admire it for its raw beauty, or do a combination of the two while ripping a grab. This leaves each player with a different opinion on each faction. To me, Clear Sky's main goal is to find a balance between the chaotic nature of the zone and the order humanity wants to instill. I'll leave this section with one of my favorite pieces of dialogue that I think gives pretty good insight into the motivations of some of the nameless faction members you can find in Clear Sky. Like the rest of us, I explore the zone. It's the most amazing thing humanity has ever encountered. We shouldn't fight the zone. We should research it, try to understand and coexist peacefully. The zone is here to stay. Mark my words. I want to quickly address the notion that Clear Sky is weak. They are admittedly not a fighting force, and we learned this from Lebedev at the start of Clear Sky.
Their history. As I said, we are researchers. We're trying to figure out the nature of the zone, determine the reasons which caused it to appear, and formulate the rules that govern its existence. We are not consumed by a quest for money. We don't seek fields of artifacts, and we're not interested in turf wars with other factions. That is why we're hiding here in the swamps and concentrating on our research. Our forte is not combat, but knowledge. Knowledge of the zone, accumulated over years of research. We know more about it than stalkers and the government combined. And our research was finally shaping up into a sound, coherent picture until the massive emission a few days ago.
What separates Clear Sky from most other factions is that they are all soldiers, scientists, and technicians all in one. As one nameless member puts it, right now, nothing at all. I have lots of responsibilities. We are all scientists, technicians, and soldiers all in one. Today we fight, tomorrow we go on a science expedition. That's what it's like. They lack in military strength quite a bit. You can find their members equipped with CS1 or CS3A armor, and either a PMM, a sawed-off shotgun, or the trusty old hunting rifle. This makes them an incredibly weak fighting force early on. It can make the first part of the game very annoying. But towards the end of Clear Sky, their arsenal improves and they start using actual weapons like the AKM, TRS 301, and the Spaz 14. Despite their lack of military strength, Clear Sky was the most technologically advanced faction of its time. The only reason why Monolith had access to Gauss rifles in Call of Pripyat was because of the prototypes Clear Sky developed and left at the Battle of Limansk. Another major invention was the Psi Beacon. During Stalker 2, during the quest Ad Asta per Aspera, we learned that they were created by Klancha and deployed shortly before the Battle of Limansk. These beacons served as a security measure, concealing the location of Clear Sky's base. As a result, much of the zone believed the faction was just a hoax or a legend from the first generation of stalkers. Even with their technological expertise and fighting an endless war for their cause, eventually the zone just decided to pull the rug right from under their feet. Which finally leads me into the main subject of the video, the tragic fall of Clear Sky and the aftermath that followed. Towards the end of Stalker Clear Sky, Scar helps Clear Sky lower the bridge into the town of Limansk. From massive firefights in the middle of Limansk, ending the lives of what feels like 2,000 Monolithian soldiers, and even a boss fight with an attack helicopter. At the climax of the game, Lebedev gives Scar the order to finish off Strelok. He's given the prototype Gauss rifle to disable his psi protection. Scar succeeds in stopping Strelok from reaching the center of the zone, but the zone had different plans. In the moments after Strelok's defeat, the Sea Consciousness released a powerful emission and nailed the final nail in the coffin for Clear Sky. The ending cutscene of Stalker Clear Sky leads us into the events of the first game, Stalker Shadow of Chernobyl. All we know is that very few members survived. However, prior to Stalker 2 releasing on November 20th, 2024, this is where the story of Clear Sky would have concluded, but Stalker 2 gives us more on the aftermath of the Battle of Limansk. We only know of 2 official members who survived the events of Stalker Clear Sky, Nimble, Lebedev's right-hand man, and Novikov, the group's resident technician. Nimble's story is way more interesting, so I'm just going to talk about him and not really talk about Novikov, sorry. In Stalker Shadow Chernobyl, Nimble is kidnapped by a couple of bandits, and the Marked One can be given a quest by Sidorovich to go and rescue him. In Call of Pripyat, you can find Nimble on the Skadosk up in the upper levels. He supplies stalkers with powerful but expensive weapons and armor. You can even buy a set of Clear Sky battle armor from Nimble. It's specially made by Novikov, and is the only armor I use in any Call of Pripyat playthrough. In Heart of Chernobyl, he yet makes a return. At the start of the game, when Skip is collecting data, he's ambushed by his squad for the device and the special artifact. Nimble spares Skiff due to his no-kill policy. Later on, you can find Nimble for information on Clear Sky. Skiff has a choice to either kill or spare Nimble. Ultimately, it doesn't really matter because he never makes an appearance again in the story, but I always let Nimble live. One more character did survive the end of Clear Sky, Scar. In Heart of Chernobyl, you can find Scar leading a faction called Spark who specializes in guerrilla warfare tactics. I don't want to get into too much detail as I want to dedicate an entire video to not just Scar but also Spark. But I'll at least leave you with this. In Heart of Chernobyl, it's clear that he isn't the same as we last saw him. He's a lot more energetic, a lot more flamboyant than he was, and he talks to Skiff about this idea of the other zone in the way that a cult leader would, and I think it's interesting. So I'm gonna make a whole, maybe my next video will be this, I'm not sure, but I'll at least leave it there for now. I want to talk about Scar in another video, but I'll at least leave it there because I think he's super interesting. In the end, Clear Sky was not meant to last. From the moment they split from Project X, they were fighting a war they can never win against the Zone, the Sea Consciousness and its monolithian soldiers, and ultimately fate itself. Their story is a testament to the brutality of the Zone, a reminder that no matter how noble a cause may be, the Zone does not care. Yet, in their defeat, Clear Sky's struggle wasn't in vain. Their mission to understand the Zone may have been cut short, but their pursuit of knowledge set them apart from the endless cycle of violence that defines most factions. They weren't just a group fighting for control. They were trying to find balance, a balance between the chaotic nature of the Zone and the order humanity wants to instill. But the Zone doesn't care about meaning. It doesn't award the curious or spare the well-intended. In the end, Clear Sky was swallowed by the very thing they sought to understand, leaving behind little more than remnants and whispers, a fleeting attempt at reason in a place where reason doesn't belong. And I think that about wraps it up for today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys did enjoy this dive into Stalker lore, leave a like, comment, and subscribe as it keeps me motivated to keep making more content. If you guys have any criticisms on this video, I would love to hear them. Make them as mean as humanly possible. I love reading the mean shit. Other than that, though, comment down below your favorite Stalker faction, and I will see you all in my next video, whenever that will be. Have a good day, peace out, and good hunting, Stalker.